Hello, my friend. Welcome back to Story and Motivation English. I need to start today's episode with a confession. I once completely failed a very simple Monday morning conversation.
Oh no. What happened?
Well, a coworker came up to me at the office and said, "Hey Sam, how was your weekend?" A very normal question, right? But my brain heard it and immediately panicked. I somehow thought he was asking about my future weekend. So I answered, "My weekend will be good, I hope."
Oh wow. So you basically traveled through time with your answer.
Exactly. And he just stared at me like, "Is Sam okay? Did he sleep at all?" I walked away thinking, why is talking about the weekend so hard?
You know what? That happens to so many English learners. Weekend talk is super common in the US and Europe, but nobody ever teaches you how to answer it. People expect it to be easy, but when someone asks, "How was your weekend?" your brain suddenly forgets everything you did.
Right. I could climb a mountain, win a lottery, rescue a cat, and still my Monday brain would say, I did things.
That's why today's episode is going to be fun, because we're going to show you how to talk about any weekend. Fun, boring, busy, lazy, with natural, simple English.
So stay with us, my friend. By the end of this episode, you'll be able to answer how was your weekend without time travel, panic, or confusion.
Let's get started.
Emma, the funny thing is, weekend conversations seem so simple from the outside. But when someone asks me, how was your weekend? My brain treats it like a final exam.
Oh no, you are not alone. For many people, especially English learners, weekend talk is surprisingly stressful. It's Monday morning, everyone's still sleepy, and suddenly you're expected to summarize your last 48 hours in one sentence.
Yes, and people in the US or Europe ask this question all the time. At work, at school, in a cafe, at the gym, even when you're not ready for human interaction.
That's because weekend talk is a social warm-up. It's like pressing the start button on the week. People aren't looking for a deep story. They're just making a friendly connection.
But nobody tells you that when you're learning English. So you think you need something impressive to say, like, I hiked the Alps, ran 3 marathons, saved a small village, and baked 7 cakes.
Exactly, but real life weekends, most of them are normal. People run errands, do laundry, see friends, rest, watch Netflix, grocery shop, maybe take a walk. Nothing dramatic.
Here's the truth. Half of my weekends are just cleaning my apartment and trying to feel like an adult.
That's relatable, and that's something you can talk about in English, because weekend talk isn't about being exciting, it's about being honest and friendly.
You know what else makes it hard? Learners often feel their weekend is too boring to talk about. So they think, I stayed home. That's not interesting. Then they freeze.
Right. But you don't need an interesting weekend. You just need one small detail. One tiny thing you did. I watched a show. I cooked something new. I went for a walk. I slept a lot. These are perfect.
And Americans are great at turning simple things into conversation. Like someone says, I took a long walk. And the other person goes, oh, nice. Where'd you go? Suddenly, it becomes a friendly chat.
Exactly. Weekend small talk isn't about content. It's about connection.
Another reason weekend talk feels scary is because people don't know the standard pattern. Like, what's the structure? What comes first? What's too much? What's too little?
Yes, structure helps so much. Most people use a 3-part pattern without even noticing. Start with the feeling. It was relaxing. It was busy but nice. Add one simple detail. I watched a new show. I tried a new restaurant. I visited a friend. Ask back. How about yours? That's the full formula.
So basically, feeling, detail, question.
Exactly. Short, friendly, natural.
I wish someone had told me that years ago. My coworkers would ask, "How was your weekend?" And I'd answer, "Fine," and walk away like a mysterious detective.
Yes, fine ends the conversation, but it was nice. I went to a new cafe. How about yours? Keeps it going warmly.
And that's what people actually want on Monday morning. A small, easy moment of connection.
Right. Nobody expects perfect English or big story, just something simple.
I also love that weekend talk can happen anywhere, not just at work. I've had weekend conversations with strangers at the grocery store, the gym, even in line at the bakery.
Exactly. It's one of the safest, easiest conversation topics in the English speaking world.
So, in the next part, we're going to teach our friend how to talk about any weekend fun, boring, busy, lazy with natural, simple English.
And we'll do some mini role plays too, so they can hear real examples.
Perfect. Let's head into the value section and break everything down.
Let's do it.
All right, Emma, let's help our friend actually talk about their weekend in a simple, natural way. Because sometimes, even when I had a great weekend, I still freeze when someone asks me about it.
That's normal. Most people don't know where to start. But here's the trick. Begin with the overall feeling. Don't start with details, start with the vibe. Something like, it was relaxing. It was pretty good. It was busy, but nice.
Right. That's easier than jumping straight into a story. Like instead of saying, "Well, on Saturday at 9:15 a.m., I went to," which sounds like a police report, you simply say, "It was really nice."
Exactly. Feelings first. And then you add one detail. Just one. For example, it was relaxing. I watched a couple of movies. Or, it was nice. I tried a new cafe.
One detail is so much better than telling your entire weekend timeline. I used to think I needed to make my weekend sound interesting. Like, it was amazing. I climbed a mountain, cured world hunger, solved climate change. But really, the real answer is usually, I cleaned my apartment and ordered pizza.
Which, honestly, is very normal. A simple weekend is still a weekend. People usually respond well to honesty. You can say, it was nothing special, but it was nice. That's totally natural in English.
And my favorite phrase is, "It was simple. I stayed at home most of the time." Because that is 90% of my adult life.
Same here. And when your weekend was busy, you can say something like, it was pretty busy. I had a lot to do. Or, it was a full weekend, but a good one.
That feels so natural. And what about a fun weekend? Something more social.
Easy. It was fun. I went out with some friends. Or, it was great. I visited a new restaurant. Or even, it was awesome. I ate way too much.
Yes, that's very realistic. Food-based weekends are the best.
Now, here's the most important part. After you describe your weekend, always ask the other person, how about yours? That simple question keeps the conversation going and makes you sound confident and friendly.
That's true. If someone asks, "How was your weekend?" and you reply with, "It was good," and then stay silent, it's like shutting the conversation door in their face.
Exactly. But if you say, it was good, I tried a new recipe, how about yours? You open the door for a natural chat.
Let's do a quick example. Ask me about my weekend.
Okay. How was your weekend?
It was relaxing. I watched a couple of movies. How about yours?
Perfect. Short, friendly, natural.
Let's do another. Give me a different vibe.
How was your weekend?
It was pretty busy. I ran errands. How about you?
Exactly. That's how people really talk.
One more. Maybe a nothing special weekend.
Sure. How was your weekend?
It was nothing special, but it was nice. I stayed at home most of the time. How about yours?
And that's one of the most natural answers in English.
I love how easy this feels once you know the rhythm. Feeling, one detail, and then how about yours?
That's the whole formula. You can use it every Monday morning, every time you meet a friend, every time someone wants to start a friendly conversation.
And the best part is your weekend doesn't have to be exciting. It just has to be real.
Exactly. Most weekends are simple, and simple English works perfectly.
All right, my friend, I think you're ready. Let's wrap this up in the conclusion. All right, my friend, we've reached the end of today's episode. And honestly, talking about my weekend feels so much easier now. It's funny, I used to think I needed a perfect weekend to have a good answer. But now I see it's never about the activities. It's about the connection.
Exactly. People aren't asking because they want a big story. They're asking because it's a warm, friendly way to start a conversation. And a simple answer is more than enough.
I love how the formula makes everything feel lighter. Feeling, one detail, and then, how about yours? That's it. That's really all you need.
Yes, and the beautiful part is that it works for any kind of weekend. A fun one, a boring one, a lazy one, a busy one, even a I forgot what I did weekend.
Which is most weekends for me, honestly. But now I can still answer naturally. Something like, it was simple. I stayed at home most of the time.
Exactly. And remember, your English doesn't need to be perfect. Your weekend doesn't need to be special. What matters is the warmth in your voice, not the excitement in your story.
That's such a good point. People don't remember every detail of your words. They remember how you made them feel. Open, friendly, comfortable.
Yes. And the more you practice these small, simple answers, the more natural they'll become. You'll stop overthinking and start responding with confidence.
My friend, if there's one thing you take from today, let it be this. Your English is strong enough for real conversations, even the simple ones.
Especially the simple ones.
And we'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments. What did you do last weekend? Don't worry if it's simple. We love simple. If today's episode helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who wants to speak more naturally in English.
Thank you for spending your time with us. Keep speaking, keep practicing, keep growing one small conversation at a time.
We're proud of you, my friend. See you in the next episode.